The ABC News exclusive, a rare interview with First Lady Melania Trump. Nothing was off limits here. The First Lady speaking publicly about her marriage to President Trump and about allegations of infidelity involving the president. ABC's Tom Llamas and his exclusive with First Lady Melania Trump on the scrutiny she says she has endured as First Lady.
Through it all, she has held her tongue. Silent when porn star Stormy Daniels stepped forward. Silent when the White House denied the affair. Silent when the president later admitted to paying hush money. But now, in our exclusive interview, First Lady Melania Trump is finally ready to talk.
This is happening right now. Melania's legal strategy, months in the making, designed to land her case before a judge with a history of protecting the Trump family, has collapsed entirely. The escape hatch is sealed. She now faces residency fraud allegations from a journalist who has outmaneuvered the Trump legal machine at every turn, and there's no buying, spinning, or running away from what's coming. Let's rewind and build this from the foundation, because the full scope of what's happening here is so much bigger than the headlines are capturing.
Michael Wolff, the author of Fire and Fury Inside the Trump White House, is with us this morning. A lot has happened since details of your book just came out. The president,
to say the least.
To say the least. The president, in response, has felt the need to describe himself as a stable genius. Based on your reporting, are there people inside the White House talking about trying to remove him from office?
They're not talking about trying to remove him from office. They're wondering what's going to happen. The people in the White House are like everybody else in the country. What's going to happen here? We don't know from day to day.
Michael Wolff is not some random blogger who decided to pick a fight with a famous person. He is the author of multiple bombshell books about the Trump White House, books that sent shock waves through the political establishment and revealed inner workings that the administration desperately wanted kept secret. He has spent years cultivating sources inside Trump's orbit.
President Trump yesterday said the book is a fake book. He said you are totally discredited as an author. Is everything in the book true?
Everything in the book is true.
And your response to that?
Well, I'm waiting for a nickname.
You don't have one.
You don't
have one.
I seem to have been. Where's my nickname?
Well, he did call it a work of fiction. Stephen Miller continued that narrative over the weekend. There had been reports.
I can reliably say Donald Trump has never read a work of fiction. So
he has spent countless hours interviewing the people who know where the bodies are buried, and crucially, critically, he has spent nearly 100 hours in direct personal conversation with Jeffrey Epstein before Epstein died in that Manhattan jail cell. That detail changes everything. Wolff is not writing about Epstein from press clippings and public records. He sat across from the man. He listened to him talk. He learned things that have never appeared in any news report or court filing.
According to Michael Wolff, the journalist behind Fire and Fury, quite a bit. In a podcast interview, he claimed Melania was very involved in Epstein's social circle. Wolff even says Melania was introduced to Trump through mutual ties to a modeling agency that both Trump and Epstein were connected with. Epstein knew her well, Wolff stated. Politico has also pointed out that Zampoli, the same man who brought Melania to the U.S., had ties to both Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell.
And now Wolff is working on material that touches directly on Melania Trump and her connections to the entire Epstein saga. When you understand that context, you understand why the Trump family is so desperate to silence him. You understand why they're willing to spend whatever it takes to make this lawsuit go away, and you understand why Wolff, armed with knowledge that very few living people possess, is not backing down an inch. The lawsuit itself is a defamation action. Wolff alleges that Melania and her representatives made false and damaging statements about him in connection with his work on the Epstein files. This is not a celebrity feud playing out in the tabloids. This is a federal case with real legal weight behind it.
Author Michael Wolff has claimed in a lawsuit that First Lady Melania Trump threatened to sue him for over $1 billion in damages if he didn't retract Jeffrey Epstein-related statements he made about her. Wolff said in the lawsuit that Melania Trump's threat to sue came over statements he made to the Daily Beast and in 3 videos published on social media, although he added some statements were incomplete phrases and were taken out of context. The lawsuit came on Tuesday, the deadline set by Melania Trump's lawyer for Wolff to retract statements, issue an apology, and pay damages to his client.
Wolff is claiming that the First Lady's team tried to destroy his reputation because they didn't like what he was uncovering, and rather than respond with facts or evidence or any substantive rebuttal, they allegedly resorted to character assassination and public smears. Wolf is not settling. Wolf is not taking a payout and signing a non-disclosure agreement. Wolf is going for blood. He wants discovery. He wants depositions. He wants to put Donald Trump and Melania Trump under oath in front of a court reporter and ask them every question about Jeffrey Epstein that they've spent years dodging. That's the prize he's chasing, and every legal move Melania makes seems to bring him closer to getting it. When powerful people get sued, the first thing their lawyers do is find the most favorable battlefield possible. This is not complicated strategy. It's instinct.
I've spoken publicly about aspects of those interviews and the things Epstein said, including things he said about Melania Trump. I was notified the other day by Melania Trump's lawyers that they intend to sue me for $1 billion related to some of those statements. I'm not the first here. They have threatened and sued other people for saying similar things. These are called slap suits. They may have really no chance at all of proving defamation, but they sue anyway.
You don't fight a war on terrain that advantages your enemy. You look at the legal landscape, you evaluate the judges, you assess the procedural rules, and you try to steer the case toward the jurisdiction that gives you the best chance of winning. Melania Trump's legal team performed this exact calculation. They surveyed the options available to them, they weighed the risks and rewards of various venues, and their analysis led them to a single conclusion. They needed to get this case out of New York and down to the Southern District of Florida. Why Florida? The answer can be summarized in 2 words: Aileen Cannon. Judge Aileen Cannon is a federal district judge appointed by Donald Trump. She rose to national prominence or infamy during her handling of the classified documents case against the former president. Her rulings in that case were so consistently favorable to Trump, so at odds with established legal precedent, that even conservative legal commentators expressed concern about what appeared to be blatant favoritism. She granted requests that other judges would have denied without a second thought. She delayed proceedings at every opportunity, and ultimately she dismissed the entire case under circumstances that many legal scholars considered deeply questionable. To the Trump family and their legal apparatus, Aileen Cannon represents something very specific. She represents a safety net. She represents a judge who has already proven that she will bend procedural rules and stretch legal interpretations to protect the man who appointed her. So, when Melania's lawyer started casting about for an escape route from Wolf's lawsuit, Judge Cannon's courtroom must have looked like the promised land.